Well, hello, everyone. Hello. This is The Real Me Tonight, Alexandra Levine. I am live. This is not a pre-tape show. Thank you so much on the America's Pulse Network. Again, Alexandra Levine live. We have some major breaking news going on tonight. The first slide, let's put that up there. So Democratic Texas State Representative Jolanda Jones told CNN that her party should, quote, wipe out every Republican and slash their necks. This was written by the Daily Caller. Again, I bring up the difference between freedom of speech and hate speech. We talked about that on the Pulse last night. This is not freedom of speech. When somebody is asking you to wipe out every Republican and slash their necks, that is a hate crime. They are basically inciting violence, which is a form of hate speech. It's the same thing that happened on college campuses when these pro-Hamas morons called for the genocide of Jews. How can Texas allow this person to represent them? How can the constituents allow their district to be represented by this moron? I call for the full removal of this woman, and I call for her arrest. She should be arrested for calling for every Republican to basically die. And at the No Kings rally, there was a lot of people calling for the death of Stephen Miller, who is the deputy chief of staff under Susan Wiles. And also people were saying that Charlie Kirk had it coming and everybody should die like Charlie Kirk, and that Charlie Kirk deserved to die. These are representatives now, congressmen, state senators, state representatives. They represent we the people. You in Texas elected this woman, and now she's coming for Republican constituents, which are her constituents' throats. If I was a Republican, I was one of her constituent, I would be up in arms about this. I hope that the state legislators in Texas get together and have her removed. I hope that Governor Greg Abbott does something to get her removed, and I hope that he pushes law enforcement to put her ass in jail. You do not threaten people that you do not like, and you do not call for the slashing or the killing of people you do not like. That's how Charlie Kirk died. Charlie Kirk died because there was a radical left-wing extremist that didn't like what he had to say. They killed his freedom of speech. So my question to my audience is, are we going to allow this to continue? Are we just going to poo-poo this? Are we just going to call this freedom of speech? Again, a line has been drawn here. The rhetoric is disgusting. She's a representative. She's an elected official. You can't allow elected officials to get away with rhetoric like this. Again, she's calling for the killing of her Republican constituents, but also Republicans nationwide. This is how Charlie Kirk died. This is how a lot of great people in office died, or at least got hurt because of this crap. And again, we should not allow her to get away with this. And I agree. Thank you, my friend Donald Willinger, a great patriot to my network and to the network and to my show. He says she needs to be removed from office. You bet I will ask my governor to remove her. Yeah, Donald is from Texas. He lives in Texas. So yeah, I mean, it's disgusting. It's totally disgusting. It's disgusting that it has to go this far. And the point is proven that the Democrats have nothing. They have nothing to stand on. They have nothing to campaign on because they campaign on anti-Donald Trump. They just hate Donald Trump. They don't campaign on the issues. And they don't want to work with Donald Trump, and they don't want to work with the Republicans, either in the state house or in the House of Representatives or in the Senate. And they don't want to work with their governors either, the Republicans. It's disgusting. The whole thing is disgusting and asinine. So now we go to the second breaking news. Candace Owens, of course, who is bought and paid for by the Qatari government. She's spewing out her crazy rhetoric. She's trying to be relevant. She really has nothing to go on. She's come up with so many weird conspiracy theories on how her, quote, friend Charlie Kirk died. And now she says that, or now she claims, that President Trump killed Charlie Kirk. And she insists that, quote, she knows. Let's play the video.
Just really needed to just take a breather and really process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock it off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. It's how they sign off after they murder you. So like holiday and a boulevard. And it's never on a nice side of town either. Like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not going to be a nice side of town. Anyways, I will be back on the 27th, you guys. Thank you guys for all the support throughout these couple of weeks, these last really kind of 6 weeks since Charlie died. And we will see you guys then.
She is an effing moron. Let's take into context. Let's dissect what this idiot said. She said, after they kill him, talking about how President Trump just wrote him off, made a holiday after him, and then killed him. She accused President Trump of killing Charlie Kirk. She says, this is what they do after they kill you. They create a boulevard, or they name a boulevard after you, and they name a holiday after you. Did she not see the lengths that President Trump went for this man? What he has done for Erica? How he gave Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest medal for a for a civilian. Sounds like she's a little bit jealous of her friend Charlie Kirk. How he got all this attention, and he's gotten all this attention for years, and now the attention's off of her. She should be kissing Erica Kirk's ass and President Trump's ass for honoring her quote friend. She doesn't seem like a friend to me. Doesn't seem like a friend to the MAGA movement or America First. Accusing President Trump of killing Charlie Kirk. And then, of course, she throws Israel in there because she's an anti-Semite. Throws it in. Oh, well, Israel created a boulevard for him because they killed him. You know, she was the first person to spew out that false narrative that the Mossad had something to do with Charlie Kirk's death. This woman is unhinged and she's crazy. To the point that her friend David Harris Jr. said, we need to pray for this woman because she's unhinged and she's nuts. She said, when you die, when they kill you, they create a boulevard and a holiday after they kill you. Did that for Martin Luther King Jr. and so forth. Then she says it's not even going to be in a safe boulevard. It's going to be a boulevard, a crappy boulevard. It's not even going to be a nice one to honor her friend Charlie Kirk. The fact that she would accuse President Trump of having anything to do with his death is disgusting. The fact, again, she accuses Israel is disgusting. She has no grounds and no proof. And President Trump didn't just shove him off. President Trump didn't just say, oh, well, he's dead. We're not going to honor him. We're going to forget all about him. Not at all. Turning Point USA is thriving since his death. More and more people have been signing up to join Turning Point USA chapters nationwide. I'm sorry that she's not a part of the party. She chose to be a moron and say stupid rhetoric. She chose to go anti-Semitic. She chose to hang out with Yee. She chose to support Nick Fuentes, an anti-Semite. She chose to support the alt-right. She chose to be a crazy. And it's really sad because a lot of people liked her. Charlie Kirk gave her a name. She's the reason why people know her. Or, excuse me, Charlie Kirk is the reason why people know her. She used him for fame. She went off to England, met her now husband. God knows what goes on in that household. He needs to tell her to shut the hell up. Her poor father-in-law has to, apologize for her rhetoric. Her father-in-law is a very pro-Israel, pro-Jewish guy. Rabbis were like, this is not you. I can't believe you have a daughter-in-law like this. I feel bad for her children. She's got 2 kids. So she's raising them to hate Israel. She's raising them to hate Jews. She's raising them to hate people that aren't like her. She's raising them to now hate Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, America First, the movement that got her fame. And she used Dennis Prager to get ahead too. He's Jewish. She also used Ben Shapiro when she started working for the Daily Wire. She used his ass too. She used anybody to get ahead, and she slept with anybody to get ahead. She and Charlie Kirk, they dated. They were in a relationship when she went to Israel with him for the opening of the embassy in Jerusalem. They were dating. She went on Turning Point USA's dime. It was Charlie Kirk's dime. He paid for her to go, and she had they slept in Jerusalem together. They were dating, and she has slept with any person to get ahead. People would call her a whore. She's got a big mouth, and she's losing following because of her big mouth. It's disgusting what comes out of her mouth. Like I said, we all used to like her. We all used to respect her. We all used to think she was this brilliant person. But now she's coming up with crazy conspiracy theories. Yeah, Don Willinger's right. She's attempting to fall in love with many of the radical Democrats. I agree with that. But she is spewing out all this rhetoric that's not good. And my concern is that millions and millions of people follow her. She does have a following. Now, she doesn't have as big of a following as she did when she was working for the Daily Wire and Turning Point USA. So how is she building her clientele? Well, when you're bought and paid for by the Qatari government, they own you. And Iran, you have to be anti-Jewish. You have to be anti-everything. And if people don't think like you, she attacks them. It's really sad, guys. It's really sad that we live in a society where we don't know who's good and who's bad. Who do you trust? I can be honest, I'm in the political circuit. I keep my circle very tight and very small because there's so much backstabbing that goes on in politics. Tucker Carlson, another moron. That's why I'm not really happy that Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly are part of the Turning Point USA campus tour. I know a lot of people have called Erica Kirk to get rid of him. Maybe Erica Kirk is putting him there for a reason, so she can see and hear their rhetoric and maybe do her own due diligence and possibly get rid of them in the end. I mean, I don't speak for her on that, but I know people have called for Erica Kirk to remove Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly from the Turning Point USA campus tour because what they say, people really take it to heart. And Tucker Carlson doesn't have the following that he used to, doesn't make the money like he used to. Same thing with Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly would not even denounce the things that Candace Owens said on her podcast. She said, well, Candace Owens is my friend. I don't want to say anything, even though I don't really 100% agree. Don't be a wuss. Stand up for what you believe in. Candace Owens accused President Trump of killing Charlie Kirk. I can't speak for the president on this, but I don't see them very close. I think he's distanced himself away from her too. And let me tell you something, Charlie Kirk and Erica did distance themselves from Candace Owens a year and a half before his death because of her anti-Semitic rhetoric and her craziness and her crapping on Jews that gave her an income, Jews that helped her out, Jews that gave her a voice. She's a user, people. She's a user. And there's a lot of people, I hate to say it, in the Republican Party that are users, Democrats too. But there's way too many rhinos and way too many fake Republicans in the Republican Party. Remember, these were people that were former Democrats and they pounced on something. Oh, I think I'm going to become a Republican and make money off of it. Was she ever truly a Republican? Was she ever truly about getting Black people to vote Republican? Or did she just do this for fame, money, and gain? And name recognition. A lot of people, they let it get to their heads. A lot of people do a lot of things for fame. A lot of people sleep their way to the top. It's very common in this industry. It's very common for elected officials to sleep with reporters to get fair reporting on them. I read that once. I believe it. But Candace Owens should not be your news. Candace Owens should not be the person that you listen to when you want real news. That's why you have my network, my show, our network, the America's Pulse Network, my show, Damon Galdo, Seth Eisenberg, and so forth. It's very important, guys, that you tune into real podcasters, to real news. And don't listen to the likes of her. Because she's not who she says she is. And I believe that she's always been like this. I believe she's always been anti-Semitic. I believe she's always had a hard-on against Donald Trump. I don't even think she really loved Trump. I think that was all a facade to get her name out there. And I think she's jealous of anyone that gets ahead in life. She chose to go down this path. She chose to be anti-Semitic. She chose to be a part of this alt-right movement. She chose to be a crazy. I do hope that she's getting therapy. I do hope that she's on medication to calm herself. She seems like she's going through major PTSD and trauma and mental issues and God knows what. Maybe she's going on antidepressant. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I definitely think she needs mental help. And I definitely think that she needs to talk to a psychologist. And I definitely think that she needs to get on some meds because she is unhinged. Every day she's coming up with some weird theory about how Charlie Kirk died and who we should blame. Blaming Donald Trump for his death, guess what? That causes more insanity. That causes more people to want to kill Donald Trump. It's words, guys. It's words. These left-wing lunatics, they hound on the words. Charlie Kirk died because somebody didn't like his words. And people were doing videos against Charlie Kirk. That's why he died. And this is not a way to honor your friend. Nothing to honor your friend. She's actually hurting her friend's legacy and hurting his vigils and hurting people memorializing him and hurting Erica Kirk's time to grieve. The more she spews out this crap, it doesn't help, it hurts the situation. Maybe she should just take a vacation, shut the F up, reevaluate her life. Like I said, go see a therapist, get on some meds, take some medical marijuana, and just chill. And that's breaking news. We go into segment 1 now. So segment 1 talks about the no king president. So we don't have a king. In the United States of America, we do not have a king. President Trump doesn't want to be referred to as a king because he's not. And Seth Eisenberg made a really good point last night in the Pulse. He said if Trump was a king, he probably wouldn't allow protests against him or against the no kings. So it shows that President Trump is willing to allow people to peacefully protest. But when it goes against that, when it goes beyond being peaceful, that's when the National Guard comes in. That's when the state troops come in or your local police comes in to break it up. And President Trump has showed mass amounts of leadership since he became the president again, January 20th of this year. He's done multiple strides of excellence. He got the One Big Beautiful Bill passed and many other bills passed to help our nation. And the Schumer shutdown is the Chuck Schumer shutdown. This has nothing to do with President Trump. This is the Democrats wanting to shut down the government to hurt we the people. The number 2 in line House Democrat said it. She said on an interview with Chad Pilgrim from Fox News. She said, oh my God, we don't want the government to shut down, but we're going to use this as leverage. We're going to use this as leverage because we want the American people to suffer. And we know that they're going to suffer. And we know that they're not going to be able to pay their bills, but we want them to suffer. We're using this as leverage. This is their 2028 campaign slogan. They're going to turn it around and say that Donald Trump caused the shutdown. I mean, if I'm a constituent, if I'm a Democrat listening to that, I'd be like, you want us to suffer? You're using our loss as leverage to plan a revenge against Donald Trump? Sick people. And I love how Speaker Johnson is constantly putting that interview on replay in front of his office. Literally what she said is being on not UPress, but the TV guy, whoever orchestrates it, is just keeping it on replay. So every time you walk by Speaker Johnson's office, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear the interview. You're going to hear the segment where she says we're using this as leverage. Hurting your constituents is not what you do. If you hate being a representative of your district, then don't run. Then don't be a congresswoman anymore. Don't be a senator anymore. It is not about you. It is not about racking in your pockets with millions and millions of dollars. You know, these jobs, you only earn $100,000 a year, but all of a sudden these congressmen, senators, they're millionaires, multimillionaires. Unless you came into Congress being a multimillionaire, you have to ask yourself, why do these people that came from nothing all of a sudden are leaving Congress and they're multimillionaires? Like Bernie Sanders literally had nothing, and all of a sudden he's like a multimillionaire? It's really sick. And the list goes on and on. But I can tell you what President Trump is doing for this country is he's trying to make America great again and keep it great. Because none of us live forever. None of us live forever. But when push comes to shove, he's going to do everything he can while he's still alive to make the country better. Same thing with Bibi Netanyahu in Israel. He knows he's not going to live forever. But what he's doing right now is he's trying to make headway and make steps for the future of Israel for the next 75 plus years. That's why the expansion of the Abraham Accords is so crucial right now. So please, guys, if you hear any rhetoric about Trump's a king, Trump's a this, any rhetoric that people want to hurt him, report it to 1-800-ICE, report it to Secretary of State Marco Rubio's office, report to the FBI and the DNI. We got to get these people in jail and some of them out of our country that don't wish the president well, that wish him harm. Speaking of Israel, let's go to the first slide. So breaking news, Prime Minister Netanyahu fires his national security advisor, Tachi Hanegbi. He was seen as a centrist who opposed the Doha attack and who also opposes the resumption of Israel's dismantling of Hamas, Gideon's chariot II. I'm curious what's really going on here and who might replace him. So as I've said on multiple shows, the reason that Netanyahu and Trump are working so close together is because there is such a divide in the Israeli government. As you know, there's a deep state here in America. Well, guess what? There's a deep state in Israel as well. And a lot of people in the Israeli government and a lot of people that work in the IDF, especially the heads of the IDF, were causing a lot of problems for Netanyahu. They didn't want him to dismantle Hamas. They wanted to stay in this war forever and ever. And they wanted Netanyahu to lose the war and not work with President Trump. So Bibi Netanyahu calls his friend Trump and he says, I'm getting all this pushback from my government. I don't know what to do. I need your help. And that's why President Trump and J.D. Vance was there yesterday, and Steve Witkoff's there, and Jared Kushner was there, Marco Rubio was there. They're all there to solidify peace. Because let me tell you something, majority of Israelis, they want the war to end. And so does Netanyahu. They call Netanyahu a warmonger, and they say he wants to kill his own people. Some people accused him of orchestrating October 7th, which is disgusting, never happened. That was fake news. And I've talked to real life journalists that live in Israel that fairly report, and they're like, no, that didn't happen. But a lot of the blame goes to the heads of the IDF that A, didn't see it coming, or they saw it coming and they didn't act fast enough. And what they're doing is they're putting Netanyahu in a very dangerous position to A, have his government try to overthrow him or try to put his ass in jail. And then you have this freaking group called the ICC, which has no jurisdiction, by the way. You know, they're working on lawsuits to try to put Netanyahu in jail, but also they're working in tandem with some prime ministers of different countries to say, well, if Netanyahu comes into your country, he goes directly to jail. The friggin' prime minister of Canada, the new one that left this ass, Carvey, just said that the other day. And the UK prime minister have said that too. And Macron has said it too. All these socialist, liberal, communist prime ministers and presidents who support Hamas, who support socialism and communism, who are okay if left-wing Antifa enters their country and kills innocent people, they want to put Netanyahu in jail. So Netanyahu is going to clean house to people that are going against him in his plan. And I'll be honest, a lot of people are not happy with phase 1. Now we're going into phase 2, where 35 nations are going to be paying up in the millions to keep Hamas in check. Now, Netanyahu is not a fan of Turkey having control over Hamas because Turkey supports a Palestinian state. Turkey is a very powerful country with a very powerful military. And people are very concerned about Qatar being the lead in this because it was the terrorists of Qatar that worked with the terrorists of Iran to do October 7th. The heads of Qatar actually like Israel. They get along with them. They want to join the Abraham Accords. So does the heads of Lebanon and Syria. It's about keeping the heads in power and reducing the terrorist regimes that are in these countries. And that's what's been happening nationwide. The Taliban has lowered. Al-Aqsa Smart Brigade has lowered. You don't even hear about these people anymore. The Houthis in Yemen, it's a terrorist organization. They've been lowered. The heads of Hezbollah in Lebanon, they've been completely killed. The heads of Hamas have been completely killed. So all these terrorist regimes, the heads of the terrorist regimes, remember, you kill the head of the terrorist regime, that's the mothership, and everything goes down with it. You don't have a leader, what do? So the heads of these terrorist regimes are dead, and there's nowhere left to go. Who's going to supply them? Who's going to support them? Who's going to help them? That's why Israel's like, we won, you lost. Now it's your turn to do things our way. And Trump is intervening because Israel's our biggest ally. And he knows that Israel got screwed by the Biden administration. And Netanyahu trusts President Trump, trusts Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and the Trump administration to help him out with this endeavor. He doesn't have true faith in his government because they want to put him in jail. And a lot of the people in his government try to undermine him. Just like there's a lot of people in the United States of America's government that tried to undermine Trump and continue to undermine President Trump. That's why there's too many damn rhinos in Congress. We've got to get rid of them all. But that's why we have to go through these phases. People were saying we need to bring the hostages back. And that's what President Trump did. Promises made, promises kept. The families were very hysterical because it's been 2 years and they want their loved ones back. Now we're having an issue getting the dead bodies back from Hamas. They're bringing them back in bits and pieces or not bringing them back at all. No, it's true, Don will understand we need to stop Iran. Now, we did stop Iran with the nuclear weapons. With President Trump and his team bombing the two main nuclear facilities in Iran. That was Operation Rising Lion, which was a great operation, by the way. Phenomenal. President Trump didn't tell anybody what was going on. He didn't even tell any reporter he was involved with it. So we stopped any nuclear capability for Iran to have. But we need the Iranian regime to come together with Israel and with the United States and to get rid of all the terrorists in that country for good. And a lot of people say there'll never be peace in the Middle East, or there'll be peace now. And then when Trump leaves and God forbid we get another Democrat in power, it's going to just reverse itself and we'll go back to the way it was. That's why it's very important that we allow President Trump to do his job. And it's very important that we make sure that we don't have Democrats in power for a long time. Because when a Democrat gets into power, oof, they ruin your country, they ruin your city, they ruin your state. We've seen this all over America, in Illinois, in Maryland, in Michigan, California. When you have Democrats in power, they destroy your city and they destroy your way of life. Speaking of another international leader, let's put up slide number 2. I'm sorry. I forgot this one too. Again, numerous of our now great allies in the Middle East and areas surrounding the Middle East have explicitly and strongly with great enthusiasm informed me that they would welcome the opportunity at a request to go into Gaza with a heavy force and straighten our Hamas if Hamas continues to act badly in violation of their agreement with us. So that has to do with what I just said, the other countries, Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey. The love and spirit for the Middle East has not been seen like this in 1,000 years. It is a beautiful thing to behold. I told these countries and Israel, not yet. There's still hope that Hamas will do what is right. If they do not, an end to Hamas will be fast, furious, and brutal. I would like to thank all of those countries that called to help. Also, I'd like to thank the great and powerful country of Indonesia and its wonderful leader for all the help they have shown and given to the Middle East, and to the USA, to everyone. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So basically, it's just reiterating what I just said. Let's go to the next slide because we're still talking about other international leaders. So this one talks about the president of Colombia. So President Trump is really pissed off here. He says President Gustavo Petro of Colombia is an illegal, if I can read, drug leader, strongly encouraging the massive production of drugs in big and small fields all over Colombia. It has become the biggest business in Colombia by far, and Petro does nothing to stop it, despite large-scale payments and subsidies from the USA that was nothing more than a long-term rip-off America. As of today, these patriots or any other form of payment or subsidies will no longer be made to Colombia. The purpose of this drug production is the sale of mass amounts of product into the United States, causing death, destruction, and havoc. Petro, a low-rated and very unpopular leader with a fresh mouth toward America, better close up these killing fields immediately, or the United States will close up for him, and it won't be done nicely. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So this is what President Trump is saying. This guy is an illegal drug leader. And as you know, President Trump campaigned heavily on getting rid of the fentanyl that has been pouring into our country illegally by the drug cartels. And the purpose of this drug production is the sale of mass amounts of product into the United States. So what happens is, what these drug lords do in Colombia is they bring their drugs into this country, like fentanyl and other opioids and so forth. I mean, that deal's been going on forever. So President Trump is putting a stop to this. He's putting a stop to this, and he wants this to stop, because if it doesn't stop, then we got a problem. We don't want any more drugs flooding into our country. We don't want any more leaders that have possession of illegal drugs trying to pour into America and so forth. President Trump has had enough, and he will put sanctions on this moron. He will make sure that this guy heavily pays, and maybe, I don't know, he'll work in tandem to put this asshole in jail, because you can't have illegal drug leaders representing these countries. We can't have presidents of different countries that are illegal drug leaders. Not good at all. Not good at all. And you know, the whole point of this is, who is President Trump? He's a world peace guy. He believes in peace. He wants to bring peace to the Middle East, peace to Russia and Ukraine. He's pissed off at Putin right now. He's going to put heavy sanctions on Putin coming up this week. And he's trying to make a deal. The deal with the Middle East really propelled Zelensky and Putin to come to the table. But, you know, Putin pissed off Trump. So until Putin gets on board with Trump, Trump's pissed at him. So let's put up the third meme. Would you like world peace with that? That's right. A year ago today is when President Trump worked at McDonald's. And he went from working at McDonald's to becoming the president of the United States. But he's right. Would you like world peace with that? He's right. He wants world peace. That's why it's so important that these countries come together, that they join together with President Trump, that they create peace, and that enough is enough. Well, before we go on our break, don't forget we have Folium PX. That is my affiliate sponsor. We'll put them up right now. There we go. FoliumPX.com. Toxic heavy metals. It's a full body detox, free radical support. Click on that link, guys. That is my affiliate link. And you'll get to see the wonderful, wonderful goodness that's in Folium PX. It's really good for the body. It's like one pill that does everything. Reduces your stress, reduces your hemorrhoids, reduces any stomach ailments that you have. It's a great product. I take it myself. Please, guys, go to FoliumPX.com and get the products today. We will be right back, guys, after the break. Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did. Well, hey guys, welcome back to Alexandra Levine Live on the America's Pulse Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are on 5 different channels. We're on Rumble, we're on YouTube, we're on True Social, we're on Parler, we're on TikTok, and we're on X. And thank you to all of my viewers tonight. I know there's a lot of people that are watching. They're not commenting, but we appreciate the people that are commenting, especially my good friend Donald Willinger and DMVLYF and so forth. So segment 2 talks about I came in like a wrecking ball. So that was actually a line from the song Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. But there's something going on with the left right now and the mainstream media. And White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, love her, she brought this up a couple days ago in the White House and on her X account. She said, White House ballroom construction derangement syndrome is real. I repeat, White House ballroom construction derangement syndrome. I don't know why the left is freaking out about President Trump renovating and remodeling the White House and putting in a brand new ballroom. I mean, he's not even asking taxpayer dollars to pay for it. He's paying it out of his own pocket, and he got a bunch of donors to help him as well. $350 million is taking to rebuild this part of the White House and also put a brand new ballroom in it. So why is the left freaking out? Because they hate Donald Trump, because it's Donald Trump. There it is. There's the meme. It's so cute. It's President Trump on a golden wrecking ball. It's just, I mean, it's wonderful. It's so cute. I love the meme. It's adorable. And actually, if you ever watched the music video to Wrecking Ball, it shows Miley Cyrus literally on a wrecking ball, swinging up and down a wrecking ball the whole entire music video. She was naked in the video, though. She didn't have to do that, but that's Miley Cyrus. But it's so asinine to me that the Democrats forget, or they don't forget, they just don't care, that Democrats actually remodeled the White House. And other Republicans did too. Richard Nixon put in a bowling alley. Harry Truman, he remodeled and renovated a lot of the White House. Multiple different presidents and put different things in. Barack Hussein Obama, I think he put in a basketball court. So the fact that these people, the left, Gavin Newsom, and all these politicians like Hakeem Jeffries, who called Caroline Leavitt a liar and a horrible person and all these terrible things. I mean, the left is ridiculous. They call out people they call out people knowing in the back of their mind they're lying, and they're calling out people what they are. So Hakeem Jeffries is calling Caroline Leavitt a liar because he's a liar. He's calling Caroline Leavitt a this because he's a this. I mean, it's the same rhetoric. It's the same rhetoric. The people that called Donald Trump homophobe, a xenophobe, a pedophile, all this crap, a Nazi. Those people are the Nazis. Those people are the Islamophobes. Those people are the crazies. Yeah. Donald Winter said, don't you remember what Democrats said about the Rose Garden after Trump left office? Yeah, I remember. And President Trump, he redid the whole Rose Garden, and it's beautiful. That's how he was able to have all those people at Charlie Kirk's ceremony for him getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom and giving it obviously to his widow, to Erica Kirk. But I mean, it's just disgusting how the left is going up in arms about President Trump remodeling and fixing the ballroom. The guy he's a builder. He's a master builder. That's what he's done his whole life. Construction. That's why he says, I love the sound of construction. I love the sound of building, because that's what he does. But what does the left do? They turn around and say, oh, this is an investment. This is a business deal for President Trump. He's making money off of it. How can he make money off of it when he's putting his own money into it? There's no money for him in this. And again, taxpayer dollars aren't going into this. When multiple other presidents remodeled and renovated the White House, guess what? We, the taxpayers, we paid for it. President Trump said, I'm going to pay for it. And he's putting up a lot of money to pay for it. So instead of Gavin Newsom and all these idiots who aren't even in federal office bitch and complain about President Trump remodeling a wing of the White House, why don't you just say thank you? Yeah, I agree. The DNC is simply jealous of Trump. They are, because Trump's a billionaire, a builder. He looks great. He's like the best looking 79-year-old man I've ever met. Dresses well, is immaculate, lost a lot of weight, and he's sharp as a whip. And everything he does, the left has to criticize. It's so disgusting. It just reminds me of the rhinos in Maryland. Everything that conservatives do in Maryland, the rhinos criticize them for. It's sick. So again, instead of crapping on President Trump, instead of having White House ballroom construction derangement syndrome, why don't we just say thank you? Thank you. And you know what? I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait for the new ballroom to be opened up. And you know what? I bet you the likes of Gavin Newsom will be in there. And all these people that have been criticizing President Trump, Hakeem Jeffries will be in there. So these are all hypocrites. They criticize President Trump for remodeling. But you know what? The minute that it's finished, their asses are going to be the first ones there. They'll get their butts in there the first time. They'll want to see President Trump's new ballroom. And let me tell you something. If you've ever been to Mar-a-Lago, you have to go. It's gorgeous. Everything he touches turns to gold. It's a beautiful, beautiful structure. It looks like a mini Versailles, if you know Versailles in Paris. I mean, President Trump has redone the Oval Office, and it's gorgeous. It's all gold. It's fresh paint, fresh desks, fresh carpet, everything. Everything is gold, and it's bright. That's his favorite color is gold, one of them. That's true. President Trump doesn't even take a paycheck. That's right. So say thank you, guys. And all these left-wing lunatics that are attacking President Trump for remodeling, you sound like morons too. Because I know that the first chance that that part of the White House is rebuilt, you'll want to get your ass up in there to take a look at it. And you won't criticize it. Or you may criticize it just to be an ass. But you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be gorgeous. Because everything President Trump touches turns to gold. And everybody knows it. And we love President Trump, and we love what he does for the country. But the fact that this has become a big news story is really sad. It's very, very, very sad. But I just really hope, guys, I just hope that we all wake up and realize that we cannot have Democrats in office. Because everything they touch turns to crap. Now, before we go to our third segment, just want to remind everybody, our other affiliate sponsor, rncstore.com/ALL. That's rncstore.com/ALL. There we go. John Richardson will be on my show November 6th. Mark that in your calendar. He is going to be talking about all the wonderful things that he's been doing. Use the discount code ALL to get 10% off. If you don't use ALL, you don't get a discount. And of course, the more you spend, the more discounts you get. So please, guys, go to rncstore.com/ALL. Mark in your calendar, November 6th, John Richardson. He will be here live to discuss the latest and greatest things that he's working on. And we will be right back, guys, after the break.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
So hello, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. Our third segment tonight, this is something that I'm passionate about. As you heard in the second commercial, I own my own political consulting firm, levineconsulting.co. I work specifically in state and federal races, but I have been working in local races, especially this cycle. This cycle is unique. We have races going on in New Jersey. We have local races in Virginia and state races in Virginia. We also have gubernatorial races and local races in the state of New Jersey. Also in the state of Ohio, we have some local races as well. So some states, it's kind of an off year where we have some gubernatorial races, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and local races, such as mayoral races. So this is something that I'm very passionate about. So President Trump, brought up something very interesting. He talks about the 2020 election a lot because it was stolen from him. We all know it was stolen. So let's put up the first slide. So President Trump said, ask former President Barack Hussein Obama whether or not he really believes that in 2020, Joe Biden got 15 million more votes than he did in 2012, 65.9 versus 81 million. Additionally, ask him, why is it that Joe Biden, quote, beat Obama in every single swing state with the black vote in 2020, even though black voters hate him, but in no other state? The 2020 election was an illegal scam/hoax that the people of our great country will never forget. And I agree. There's no way in hell that Joe Biden did better than Barack Hussein Obama in 2020, especially with the black vote. That's crazy. President Trump's numbers were surging with the black vote. President Trump did phenomenal in 2016 with the blacks. And I saw the election in real time. I saw the steal. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I went to bed thinking President Trump was going to win, and then all of a sudden he didn't. And I actually saw in real time all those fake ballots coming in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to Michigan and Wisconsin. And in Pennsylvania, how they were covering up the windows so that you couldn't watch the counting of the ballots. And remember, President Trump called it. He said, this was like 2:45 in the morning. He says, I won this race. We need to call it. We need to stop the counting because ballots are going to show up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. He knew it. He knew it was going to happen. That's why in 2018, he implemented an executive order stating that this could possibly happen. And also he watermarked a lot of the ballots to know the difference between fake and real. But the problem is that the state legislators, they didn't step up to the plate. They said there was no evidence of election fraud. They couldn't prove it, or they saw it, but we're moving on because they were bought and paid for, because the plan was to not have President Trump be reelected. But it's interesting. President Trump left in 2021. We got Joe Biden in there, and then all of a sudden our country went to hell. It was worse than ever before. And by President Trump coming back in 2025, winning November 5th, 2024, it was too big to rig. President Trump encouraged people to do early voting, to do the mail-in ballots, to do what the Democrats do, because he's like, if we can't beat them, join them. But also, he didn't want to be like a Democrat. He said we got to play them at their own game. If they want to do mail-in ballots, they want to do early voting, they want to push ballot harvesting where it's legal, they have to do the same thing, unfortunately. But President Trump is working really hard to push for the removal of mail-in ballots, getting rid of early voting, having election just on one day with the paper ballots, and getting rid of the machines. And I wholeheartedly believe in that. It's just Congress has to codify that law. I don't think Congress will, because they rely on these machines. They rely on mail-in ballots. All these liberals do to win, because there's cheating in all these elections. The good news is that in the state of Virginia and New Jersey, that a lot of the mail-in ballots that are coming back are Republicans. Republicans are winning in their mail-in ballots in New Jersey and Virginia, and also in early voting. A lot of Republicans are coming on early voting in Virginia and in New Jersey. And I know October 25th, early voting starts in New York. We got to get out there, Republicans. We got to get out there and vote against that Mamdani mofo, because he will ruin New York City. Now, I'll be honest, he is very poised to win. The numbers are there for him to win. People are calling for Curtis Silva to get out of the race and endorse Cuomo. And, Cuomo thinks there's a shot of winning. But Curtis Silva's already on the ballot. His name is already on the ballot. So they're going to ask him to drop out when his name's already on the ballot? Again, that is not for we the people to decide. That is for himself to decide, his wife, his political consultants, campaign manager, whoever he's working with to decide. And the more you tell him to get out, the more he's going to stay. Remember, Cuomo had his chance. He got beat by Mamdani in the primary. And now Cuomo's like, I'm going to be an independent now. He's still crapping on Donald Trump. And it's not good. Too much divide. Too much division. And President Trump said, Mamdani wins, they get no funding from me. They'll get no help from me. And the Republicans, for some reason, didn't see this guy coming. And the Democrats didn't see him coming. And people of all different minorities voted for this Mamdani. And that's why he's the Democrat nominee. It's like you wait till after he's the Democrat nominee to actually be like, oh my God, we got to do something. Now, I think there were 650 Jewish people put on a petition saying they felt unsafe with Mamdani being the mayor of New York City. My question to the Jewish community, or the 650 Jewish people that signed that petition, did you vote for him in the primary? And if you didn't, thank God. If you did, shame on you. As I said last night on the Pulse, the Jewish people just went through Yom Kippur. Myself and others just went through Yom Kippur. We repented for all of our sins. The Jewish people who voted for Mamdani, they committed the sin. Do not commit the sin again. We have repented. We have repented for our sins. So do not commit the sin again and vote for this anti-Semite. That's not what we as Jews do. We repent for our sins and we do not commit the sin again. Unless you're like a Bernie Sanders or an atheist, and you just denounce Judaism altogether. If you're one of those Jews that's an atheist and doesn't believe in Hashem and doesn't go to shul and doesn't give a crap, then vote for the Mandami guy. But for the religious Jews, for the observant Jews, for the traditional Jews, do yourself a favor and redeem yourself and don't vote for Mandami. But these elections are really important. Elections have consequences. If you don't put the right people in office, we're going to get these liberal, socialist, communist idiots in there for a long time. Having a Mandami in your city or in your state is scary. And the minute you put one Democrat socialist in there, they're going to continue. I mean, we already have the squad in there. They started the movement, the Democrat socialist movement. For some reason, they control the Democrat Party, even though they're in the minority. But they got a lot of power, and they have a lot of money backing them. George Soros is fully backing and supporting them, and Chuck Schumer is working with them. Chuck Schumer endorsed this Mandami moron. That's Chuck Schumer not being a real Jew. Any Jewish person that votes for Mandami should be ashamed of themselves. Any Jewish person that supports this anti-Semite should denounce their Judaism. Let's put up the second slide. So the second slide focuses on the New Jersey race. As you know, we have Damon Galdo and Damon Sherrod, who are both from New Jersey, and they're working really hard to help Jack Ciattarelli, as well as Pete Sykes and other assembly people like Constance Stitzel and Nilsa Gonzalez. We're doing everything we can to get these guys in office. Because again, the more Democrats we have, the worse it's going to be. So this is a message to people in New Jersey and Virginia. President Trump says, for all these people voting in New Jersey and Virginia for governor, attorney general, any other position, please remember this. A Republican vote means a drastic drop in energy prices and energy costs, a drop like you've never seen before. A Democrat vote means a doubling and even tripling of your energy bills and prices, traditionally the highest cost of an American citizen. So if you vote Republican, your energy costs are going to go down tremendously. If you vote Democrat, your energy costs are going to go through the roof, which he's right, making energy virtually unaffordable for you and your family to pay. Also remember that if you don't go to the polls and vote, it's the same thing as voting for a Democrat. So go to the polls and cut your energy costs in half. And the president's 100% correct on this, 100%. Because I see it in Maryland with a Democrat governor. I mean, he bankrupted the state to the point where he has to get energy from another state, which costs the people of Maryland so much money on their gas bill and on their heating bill. I mean, it's gone up in the thousands now. It's really bad. A vote for a Democrat is a vote for disaster. It's a vote for your state or your city to go down in flames. You see what's going on in Chicago, in the city of Chicago with the mayor, and in the state of Illinois with the governor. You see what's going on in California. President Trump was going to bring the National Guard to San Francisco this weekend. The mayor of San Francisco said, "No, President Trump, I'm working on it. I don't need you in there. I'm just gonna step it up and do something." The fact that President Trump has to bring the National Guard into your city, into your state, means you're not doing a good job and you don't care about your constituents. And as you know, President Trump, he endorsed Jason Maharis, who's the incumbent Attorney General in Virginia, Republican, and he's soaring in the polls. He's up like 7 points now. So if you are in Virginia, it's down ballot all the way. Winsome Sears, John Reed, Jason Maharis, just vote down ballot. I know people are very skeptical of Winsome Sears making it in the end. But President Trump praised her on Air Force One. He didn't formally endorse her, but he praised her. And Spamberger is the reason for a lot of these problems. Spamberger is the reason why Jay Jones is running for Attorney General, as he wrote text messages threatening Republican legislators, their wife, and their kids. You can't have that. You can't have that in leadership. Also, Virginia needs to take back the House and the Senate because it's Democrat right now. The Democrat-led caucus with a Republican governor. So we want to take back the state, the House and the state, and make it a trifecta, red trifecta. That's why we need to have a Republican governor in there. Let's go to the next slide. So this was major breaking news today. The full North Carolina legislature has passed the Trump-endorsed 2026 congressional map that eliminates a blue seat and adds a red seat. Governor Josh Stein is powerless to veto it. It's official. It's done. Democrats cheating is being canceled out state by state. So this has been going on state by state. The legislators, they're stepping up of each state, and they're redoing their congressional map to make it the way it was supposed to be for the 2020 census. And they're eliminating a lot of these liberal seats and putting in Republican seats, like in the state of Texas, Florida, and other seats that were supposed to get more Republican seats and were denied in the 2020 census. So this is an important thing. And as you know, North Carolina is up for there's a open senatorial seat, which Michael Whatley is planning on running for. Laura Trump is from North Carolina. She's got a lot of roots there. I mean, North Carolina has become a Republican powerhouse, but they've had a Democrat governor there for far too long. Or no, I'm sorry, they just got a Democrat governor. I'm talking about. So they have a new Democrat governor, but we need better leadership. We need less rhinos and more real Republicans in leadership. And maybe Mr. Stein will be a one-term governor. We'll see. Donald Wildren said, will Trump visit James if she goes to prison? He said he would Pelosi, if you remember. I'm not sure on that. That's a question for the president. I can ask him that. That's a very good question. That'd be very interesting if he did. I don't know if I could see him there. But that's a good question. I can ask the president. That's a good question. So again, we have early voting going on in Virginia. It's 45 days of early voting with the mail-in ballots. We have early voting starting in New Jersey, October 25th. That's on Saturday, plus mail-in ballots. And we have early voting starting in New York, October 25th, with the mail-in ballots. Let's go to the fourth slide. So this is Mondami. He said white neighborhoods should pay higher property taxes. The price is white. So this guy is anti-white. He's anti-Jewish. He's pro-Islam, pro-Sharia law. If you see what's going on in New York City, they have like prayers in the middle of Times Square. You hear the blast like you're living in like Iran or like a third world country of prayers going on 5 times a day. Like in Israel, they do that. It's like the Islamic regime is taking over your city. You put this foreigner from Uganda in there, who I believe did not get his American citizenship legally. I believe that his visa should be revoked. Same thing with Ilhan Omar. Same thing with a lot of these people coming in and saying that they're American citizens, and I personally don't believe it. But this guy needs to go back to Uganda. This guy is a danger to society. This guy is a danger to your household. This guy hates you if you're white. Now he's talking about free stuff. Free healthcare, free bus rides. Free bus rides. Well, who's going to pay for the bus to run if you get on there for free? I mean, there's people that don't pay for the bus as it is. But you, the taxpayers, will pay for the bus to keep running and no one's on it. That happens in Ohio too. I've seen it. No one's on the bus, but it's still running. That's craziness. This guy will bankrupt your city. This guy is calling for taxing on your groceries, tax on grocery stores, a tax on this, a tax on that. He's a tax whore. And everybody falls for his sweet charm. He claims that he'll do well for the Jewish community. And he went to see some very, very Haruti, very religious Orthodox men during the holidays just for votes. Everyone knows he's a fraud. Curtis Silva of the Guardian Angels has been extremely pro-Israel, and he supports all the Jewish people in New York City. He's always done well for the Jews. He's always pushed for, like I have, for full 24/7 security. Not just for the high holidays, but 24/7 security for the Jews. Again, 650 Jewish people, they wrote in a letter saying they do not feel comfortable about Mondami as the mayor of New York City. So again, I challenge the Christian people of New York City. I challenge the Jewish people, the Black people, the Hispanics, not to put this guy in. Unfortunately, the numbers are in his favor. But we all know who he is. He's been exposed. He was exposed the day after he won the primary. Will Mondami make Jews pay for security? Probably. No, the stereotype. It's true. And Damon, you're right. People need to understand that he will reach into your pocket and give your money away. You're so right about that. So please, guys, do the right thing. Vote for the right person. Vote for the person who represents you, not just because he has a great smile. Not just because he's young. Sometimes age doesn't matter when it comes to this. This guy is a socialist trying to creep in, and once they creep in, you can't get him out. Because I can tell you, if he becomes the mayor, the Jews in New York City have to leave, and there's millions of them. And guess where people are going? They're going to be moving to Florida. My governor, Ron DeSantis, is prepared for people to leave New York and come down to Florida. He encouraged the police officers to do that when Kathy Hochul became the governor. People are saying, oh, if Mondami gets in, this will open up the door for Elise Stefanik to become the Republican governor in New York. I don't know about that. I mean, you have to see this guy wreck your city to know that Democrats are crap. I mean, I see what's going on in Baltimore City. The mayor there, Brandon Scott's a piece of shit, pardon my language. He hates the people of Baltimore City. He appoints all these DEI hires. His priorities are all screwed up. He's a DEI hire himself, calls himself a DEI leader. He cheated to win the primary in Baltimore City. We saw it all in real time. This is in 2020. It's disgusting what he did. He's a fraud. Just like this Mondami guy's a fraud. So stop putting frauds in office. And also, we really need to vet our candidates. I work with candidates that do the work and really love what they do and care about what they do and really want to be in positions of power, not for themselves, but for we the people. Speaking of those people, one person that I work with closely, I've been working with him for 6 years, his name is Tim Fazenmaker. He is running for the new Baltimore County Council District 9. There he is. He has been going all across the state of Maryland, and he goes outside the state of Maryland too. He goes to Virginia and Pennsylvania and West Virginia because he's got a lot of family and friends there, and they love him. And he will be your next councilman. He's running in a very America First / MAGA district. He is the one. Nobody can beat him. I know for a fact that there's a lot of Republican rhinos that are trying to get somebody to beat him, and nobody wants to touch it. Everyone's like, if Tim Fazenmaker's running, oh my God, we don't want to run against him. We know he's going to kick our ass. No way. No. They're afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid because they know they're going to get pummeled and they know they're going to get destroyed. So if you want somebody who represents you, which Tim does, he's done so much for the community. Tim was just in DC at a Lost Voices of Fentanyl event. He also has been going to different vigils all over Maryland. He was with me in Frederick County recently. He was with me in Harford County. He did one in Dundalk with his friend Michael Fox. I mean, he's been all over the state and all over this country. And he has a household name. He's got over 50,000 followers on Facebook. He's an amazing human being, and he's a great addition. He will be a great addition to the council, and I can mark my words, he will be in the halls of Congress one day. And he also guest hosts on The Pulse. He will be back on The Pulse in a few weeks. He's just been campaigning and doing what he needs to do to get elected. So please, guys, go to timfazenmaker.com. That's TIMFAZENBAKER.com. Make a nice donation. He's been getting donations of $500 plus. People want him in there, and it's time. It's time to put a real patriot in the council, and let's get the job done for we the people. And of course, we are working with our assemblymen. I'm specifically working with Constance Ditzel and Nilsa Gonzalez. They're running for LD number 5 assembly. These women are smart. These women are great. These women support Jack Ciattarelli. They're working with Jack Ciattarelli. They follow him everywhere he is. Camden County is a hardcore Democrat county, and they're trying to flip Camden County. And they have a lot of work ahead of them, but they are kicking butt. And they've been doing political ads, and they've been all over social media, and they've been to so many events. I mean, I call Constance all the time. She's busy. She's busy doing something. She's door knocking. She is going everywhere. These two women are machines, and they're powerhouses. Please, guys, go to Constance Ditzel's website. Follow her on Facebook, Ditzel and Gonzalez for State Senate or State Assembly, excuse me. You can also follow her on Instagram, Ditzel and Gonzalez. And you can follow her on X at Connie, the number 4NJ. That's at Connie, the number 4NJ. And I do want to mention this one person. I don't have her stuff up, but we will start putting up her stuff. It's my very good friend, Kimberly Stansberry. She's running for she's Republican. She's running for Baltimore County Executive. This is her second time running. She did a phenomenal job in 2022. She came in a strong second place, and she'd never run for an office in her life. And now she's running again. And she is a smart woman. She's a fighter. We call her Mama Bear. Her husband served our nation. He died, unfortunately, of Agent Orange, but he was a wonderful man. And before he died, he said, Kim, I want you to run for this position again because this is your destiny. So go to kimstansberry.com, elect Kim Stansberry, give her a donation too. We love her. She's also been touring all over this Baltimore County. She loves Baltimore County. She lives in people Baltimore County. She lives in Towson, and Towson is a mess. Every other day, there's something going on at Towson University or the Towson Town Center. The crime is so bad in Baltimore County, and the two Democrats that are running against her are horrible. They have caused a lot of the crime. They don't care about their constituents. They care about feeding their own pockets with millions and working with developers to destroy the county, and they could care less. And again, you keep voting for Democrat leadership, you're going to get the same results. So please, guys, look up Kim Stansberry. She's on Facebook. She's an awesome person, and we love her. And again, guys, don't forget, we have our November 4th. Oh, sorry, before that. Yes, Seth Eisenberg, GoFundMe. Jonah Eisenberg, Such Health, Such Crisis, our very own Popeye the Sailor Man. We've raised over $6,500 for him. We need to continue. He was back in the hospital recently for his foot. So please, guys, we don't want him to lose his foot. We want to give him money so he can walk and he can pay his bills. But please, guys, go to health/Jonah/crisis and make a donation today. But I do want to put up the flyer for November 4th. Let's put it up, Damon.
Righteous pride in this one big voice, it's our time. Generation fighters take the stand. From shore to shore we reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore we make our stand.
So on November 4th, so normally my show, we're going to have our own little election night party at Skeeter's and Bar and Grill. Damon Galdo will be there hosting it. And guess who's going to be going to New Jersey? Seth Eisenberg. Oh, my God. New Jersey better watch out. They better watch out for him because they're going to get a rude awakening when they meet this sailor. But it's going to be really awesome. It's going to be a great evening. I'm going to pop in. Elena Barber from the Base Mother, she's going to pop in too. And it's going to be a fun night, guys. November 4th, please. It's election day. Don't forget to vote. If you have not voted, please go early vote. If you're doing a mail-in ballot, get your mail-in ballot in. I would never in my life encourage people to early vote and do mail-in ballots, but this is a different type of election, different type of a year. And that's how President Trump won, by early voting, mail-in ballots. We got to make this thing too big to rig. And again, guys, don't forget to watch us every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. with The Pulse. Great show. 5-person panel. We always have a special guest. We never know who our special guest is going to be. We've had some feisty episodes too, but it's really awesome because it's 5 different people with 5 different opinions, 5 different passions. And it's a great, great show. And we get a lot of buzz with it. And don't forget to watch Seth Eisenberg of the Conservative Corner every Sunday night from 7 to 8:30 p.m. and follow him at the Conservative Corner on X and the Conservative Corner on Facebook. And of course, my good friend Damon Galdo from the Jersey Shore. Don't forget his show every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. and Friday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Follow him at Damon Galdo on X, at Damon Galdo on Facebook. And as you know, Mr. Galdo is planning on running for political office. So we back him and support him. And we all say a prayer for him, because running for any office is tough. And you need to have a lot of support behind you. And thank God he's got a wonderful wife and wonderful kids that back and support him. And of course, don't forget to follow me, Alexandra Levine. I'm on all the platforms. I'm on Facebook. I'm on X. I'm on Parler, True Social, TikTok, Rumble. And of course, don't forget to follow us at the America's Pulse Network. We're on TikTok. We're on X. We're on True Social. We're on Parler. We're on Rumble. So we're on all the major networks too. Thanks, guys. This has been a great show. And the reason you listen and the reason you watch is you are no idiot.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up, because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution, because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.